Dr. Lamell McMorris stands as a living testament to the power to persist. His journey reflects a truth Dr. King embodied, that moral courage must be able to travel, to survive the streets of struggle, endure the rigors of scholarship, and still speak with integrity in boardrooms and suites of power. From the crucible of Chicago, where the fight for economic justice exposed the depth of America's inequalities, to the intellectual formation shaped by institutions like Morehouse College, Dr. McMorris's path mirrors the arc of principled leadership itself, tested by resistance, refined by learning, and carried forward into spaces where influence is exercised. What distinguishes Dr. McMorris is not simply where he has been, but how he shows up. Please join me in welcoming a voice shaped by struggle, sharpened by scholarship, and trusted in the halls of influence, Dr. Lamell McMorris.
We have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon us, we can't refuse it, we didn't seek it, and we didn't choose it, but it's up to us to use it. We must suffer if we lose it, give account if we abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. This anonymous poem, Dr. McCorn, made famous by our beloved president, Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays at Morehouse College, symbolizes not just where we are in this moment in time and in this service, but also symbolizes my time here today. I'm only going to be just a minute. I'm not going to take long. Dr. Hooker and Mrs. Hooker, Dr. King and Mrs. King, but especially to our host this afternoon, Dr. McCorn and Mrs. McCorn, I can't thank you enough for the remarkable hospitality you have shown me in my time here in Augusta, and I am immensely grateful for this invitation on this dock, your first hosting of this annual commemoration. To my friends who gathered here, there are some and many, to my long-standing dear friend, Champ Walker, and the entire Walker family, thank you, dear brother, for being here. To my dear Morehouse brother who's here, working with Dr. McCorn at Paine College, Teddy McDaniel, God bless you, brother. By the way, before I forget, they told me to remind you, I have a new book out. Hold on, no, it gets better. We donated 200 books to be distributed here today. I would love to sign as many of those books, especially for the young people who are gathered. So I'll be in the hallway afterwards to meet and greet and sign and give away books, and we're honored to do that. I'm so grateful to, thank you. That came by way of a wonderful gift from a friend who runs a company called Blue Tea Construction in Washington, D.C. She said, I want to donate books to this occasion down in Augusta, and so we're very glad that she did that too. My dear brother from Chicago, Dr. Matthew Williams, I see you, brother. Thank you for being here. A lot of times everybody sees the glory, Dr. McCorn, but they don't know the story. You see me here, and I wrote a book and all that good stuff, but you're only as good as the people that you have around you and your team, and I'm honored that 2 members of my team have traveled here to Augusta. Please give a round of applause to Lorena and Rosemary, who are here. And yes, to the mighty men of the greatest fraternity to ever walk this earth, the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated who are here. God bless you. To the mayor, all the elected officials and public servants, thank you for being with us this morning, but especially to the students, the high school students and the students of all of the colleges. I am so glad to be here with you this afternoon. Augusta, what a blessing it is to stand here today, right after those melodious voices from the choirs and those assembled to lift this room and to lift our spirits and to remind us who we are. Today, the three colleges of Augusta, Augusta Technical College, Augusta University, and Paine College joined together with the greater Augusta community to celebrate the life, the legacy, and the living impact of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Before we go any further, let us affirm together, thank you, God, for sending us a man who dedicated his life and ministry to nonviolence, freedom, and equality for all. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was not just a man of words, Dr. McCorn. He was a man of courage, sacrifice, unwavering faith, and action. The theme for today is Martin Then and Now, connecting struggles across time. Dr. King understood something we must never forget. Freedom is never handed to you permanently. Justice does not sustain itself. Progress is not automatic. He taught us that every generation must decide whether it will be a caretaker of justice or a casual observer of injustice. He believed in nonviolence not because it was easy, Professor, but because it was powerful. He believed in love not because it was passive, but because it was transformative. And he believed that faith without action is empty. Leaders who just happen to be friends and mentors that I look up to, leaders like Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr., carry the work forward, reminding this nation that our power grows when we build coalitions. The Rainbow Coalition, as he called it, showed us that unity, like we're seeing today with these three college presidents, that unity is strategy. Leaders like our dear brother Mark Morial and the Gumbo Coalition remind us that justice, economic opportunity, and political power are strongest when we move together. Leaders like my dear brother that we talked to last night, Reverend Sharpton, stand firmly in the tradition of Kingian nonviolent civil disobedience in the face of injustice and harnessing the power and the images of media. Different time, different names, different battles, same calling, but the same passion is required. Family, we cannot gather today without naming the moment that we are in. In Minnesota, a woman lost her life during an ICE operation. A woman, a mother, a human being, a member of our community. This is not about politics. This is about humanity. This is about you and what you will do to meet this moment. Moments like this remind us why Dr. King's message still matters. They remind us that resilience and courage is no longer optional. It is essential. It reminds us that resilience and courage is the commodity of today. Resilience today means that we stand up for each other. We fight for each other. We grieve together. We protect one another. We lift each other up, and we will win together. There are moments in history when it feels like the ground is shifting beneath us. Moments when it becomes clear that progress is being tested and purpose is being required. Dr. King understood this deeply. He knew that the struggle for justice does not move in a straight line. It moves in cycles. And the true measure of our faith is not whether challenges come, but how we respond to them when they do. We did not choose every moment we've had to face as a people, but we have always had a choice in how we meet them. And let me say this clearly, especially in case there are members of the media. We've been here before. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After Reconstruction, progress was rolled back. During Jim Crow, voices were silenced. At different moments in our history, access, representation, and even our dignity were challenged. And yet, we endured. We strategized, Matt. We organized. We adapted. That is resilience, Dr. McCorn. Dr. King reminded us that democracy is not self-sustaining. Young people, it requires courage, vigilance, and participation, not fear, not despair, but faith. Faith that informed people can protect what they value. Faith that unity is stronger than division. Faith that justice, when pursued together, always prevails. Because we know our history and we know this truth. If we understand the moment we're in, we can respond wisely, not with hate, but with resolve, not with panic, but with purpose. We are the descendants of people who turn obstacles into opportunities. And that same resilience lives in us today. Our ancestors knew resilience. They endured slavery. They endured segregation. They endured violence and exclusion. And still, they built families. They built schools. They built churches. And they built movements. But resilience today looks different. And that brings me to a generation that I want to speak to passionately, purposefully, and loudly. Generation Z, our future leaders. Generation Z can be one of the most quietly resilient, creative, and resourceful generations we have ever seen. But time will tell if you meet the moment. They did not inherit, Dr. McCorn, stability. They inherited disruption. But you must adapt anyway. When traditional paths shrink, you must build and create new ones. They learn and socialize online. But what are you building online? Generation Z defines resilience differently. They understand that mental wellness is leadership, that rest is not weakness, that balance is not a lack of ambition. To those of you who are here today who represent Generation Z, and I think that's you, high school students, you are not lost, you are not failing, you are not doing life wrong, but you are called to build something new. Your resilience is not loud, but it is consistent. Your leadership is not always public, but it can be powerful. Your creativity is not hype, actually, but it can be how you build your life and your community for this moment. I want you to know that I see you, I respect you, and most of all, I believe that you will build something significant. Over the past few months, Dr. McCoy, I've had the honor of speaking at several universities, sitting with future leaders just like the ones here I'm talking to and talking about this notion of resilience. There is so much grit and determination in this next generation. But grit and determination are not enough. Action is also required. Some may possess uncertainty about the future, about opportunity, about whether dreams are truly possible. But you must know what they remove, what they tear down and destroy, you must restore. One student asked me a question recently. She said, Dr. McMorris, on the heels of your success, what lesson can you leave behind for us, the next generation of leaders? My answer back to that student, Dr. McCorn, was simple. For all that I have allegedly done, so can you. I studied religion as an undergrad at Morehouse College, and yet I went on to open a successful sports agency. So can you. I opened an office right across the street from the White House with no clients, no staff, no furniture, and built it into a thriving advisory firm. So can you. I came, as Dr. McCorn said, from the south side of Chicago, and today I advise Fortune 100 CEOs and public servants, and through Greenlining Realty USA, I help build sustainable and affordable housing for our communities. So can you. I wrote a best-selling book out there and built a podcast platform from scratch that allows me to sit with some of the nation's most inspiring leaders. So can you. Because resilience is not reserved for the few. It lives in each and every one of us. Dr. King believes students were not the future, they were the present force of change. So be that. Martin Luther King Jr. then, Generation Z now. Different tools, same courage. Family resilience today is essential. Essential for our communities, essential for our democracy, essential for our humanity. We can honor Dr. King not just with words, but with action. Not just with ceremonies and songs, but with courage and commitment. We come from a people who endure, a people who persist, a people of faith. Now, as I take my seat, I remember, especially to the older ones who are gathered here, we learned our ABCs when we were younger. And I know what you're thinking about the ABCs that, when we were young, but what I'd like to leave you with, especially the young people assembled here, are what I call, and the man that sent me to Morehouse, Reverend Tyrone Carter, called the ABCs of life. He used to tell me to take the A and accept my challenge. With the B, he told me to believe in myself. With the C, he told me to combine my words with action. With the D, he told me to dedicate my life to my dreams. And with the E, he said to expect some hard times, but with the F, fight on and be faithful and finish your courses. And with the G, he told me to get God on my side. And with the H, he told me to have a made-up mind. And with the I, he told me to inspire someone else to take the J and journey with Jesus by their side. And with the K, he told me to keep on keeping on. And with the L, he told me that love will guide the way. And with the M, he told me to make sure every day counts. And with the N, he said, never say I can't. Take that O and overcome your obstacles. And with the P, he said, put your best foot first. And with the Q, he said, quit quitting. And with the R, he said, run your race with patience. And with the S, he said, stand strong. And with the T, he said, trust the Lord. And with the U, he said, use your talents. And with the V, he said, value your time. And with the W, he said, work until your work is done. And with the X, he said, x-ray your own lifestyle. And with the Y, he said, yearn to achieve all you can be. And with the Z, he said, zealously strive to reach your peak. We can make it if we stick together. We can make it if we stick together. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.